Okay, it's doing it now, is it? Yay, it's doing it!
So it should be doing it. So let me go onto the page.
That was a pain. Okay. I'm sure it's supposed to like load up beneath me though, isn't it? Like.
I have, if I'm honest, I have no idea. Yeah, you're on.
I'm on! Hello, sorry. Oh my gosh, that took long enough. I'm so sorry. We were just, again, fiddling with the settings and YouTube has decided to... Oh, is it? I don't know where the noise is from.
There's a lot of noise in the video in the background.
We should have tested this before.
Yeah, we should. It's because you've got that setting right the way to the top, I think.
Oh, turn it down? That might work. Gaz is like listening to it next to me. Sorry. So sorry. Hi everyone. Hello. Thank you so much for all the congrats. Thank you. Any better?
Not really, no.
Oh, I don't know why this microphone is doing its thing.
It's okay. It might be worth probably unplugging and plugging it back in, but I don't. Oh.
Don't worry. If it's people
right.
can hear it.
I know people can hear it.
Don't worry though.
Delete that. Delete desktop audio.
Don't delete.
No, you don't need those two.
Oh, okay.
I know what I'm doing. Yeah.
I'm so not good with these.
It's fine. The thing is, there's loads of settings and stuff to mess around with on this. Honestly, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Maybe that'll make it better.
Tell you what, if no one else is going to complain about it, let's. I'll not have you worry about it, okay?
Oh, okay, yes. So Gaz is actually doing a very good example of baby wearing.
See, this is the whole like Pierce Brosnan, no, Pierce Morgan, and the James Bond situation at the moment. How apparently men wearing papooses is not masculine.
It is so masculine.
I don't know.
Definitely masculine. Okay, so I've seen some questions already, like can you make a video about XYZ? I'm hoping this video will kind of just cover all of those questions, because I think, sorry, I would have been a cold as well, be typical. If she wakes up later, obviously we'll bring her up in time. If not, we'll let her sleep. So this is it's a little girl. This is Evelyn.
Oh God, I'm trying to
here we are. This is Evelyn, little Evie.
Currently,
don't disturb.
Moving, but yeah, she's currently sleeping.
And she's 10 weeks old at the moment. So she was born on the 3rd of August. So that's like her little introduction. Thank you very much, Daddy Gaz.
Very welcome. Have fun. Enjoy yourself.
Have a nice time.
I'm going to go play Forza.
So I guess just before I sort of look at the questions, yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about like why I'm sort of deciding to do this. So initially, I kept it, as you guys could see, I kept it completely off all social media. I didn't talk about it. No, it wasn't on like any of my platforms at all. It wasn't on my Tumblr, it wasn't on my Facebook, it was on nothing. And I had quite a lockdown about it, so I even removed anyone on my personal Facebook page that I thought might leak it. Like I was like, oh no, I'm getting rid of everyone. And I didn't actually even post anything about my pregnancy on my own private Facebook page until the baby was born. I kind of felt it would be like an unlucky thing to do. Like I kind of worried like, oh gosh, like I know it's just anxiety, isn't it? But I was like, oh gosh, what if something happened and then I'd have to then tell people I don't have a baby anymore. Do you know what I mean? It frightened me to death. So I thought, no, I'm just going to tell the news when she's out and she's healthy and fine, which I did. But obviously after that, people found out on Gaz's Instagram and stuff, so they were following him and following his stories, and people said, oh my god, you got a baby and you didn't say anything, and I was like, oh no. So it got out, obviously. So I kind of reassessed and I thought, well, why am I sort of frightened of doing this? Why am I frightened of telling people? And again, it's about the stigma, isn't it? You know, I've had so many comments as well on my videos over the years saying about like, you know, make sure you don't breed and stuff like that. Some people being really horrible. And I think that is what put me off. And I didn't want to like exploit or put the spotlight on my baby. I wanted to keep her away kind of from all of this. But I weighed it up and I thought at the same time, you know, I don't want her to be a secret, because again, that's sort of playing into the idea that because I've got DID, I shouldn't parent, I shouldn't be a parent, I shouldn't have a baby, and I shouldn't tell people about it because that's too taboo. And so I thought, no, I'm going to make a stand. I'm going to finally announce it, because I was getting comments anyway, and it was really bad. I felt really awful, but I was having to like delete comments off my YouTube from people being like, oh, Jess has had a baby, and I was like, no, delete, because I was so frightened of the reaction and the backlash. So I thought, instead, you know what, I'm just going to make a video that's going to tackle that head on, and hopefully that'll put some people's minds to rest, I guess, and my own, like, people like me, I guess, with DID, who kind of, I guess, also might think, you know, well, because Jess was too frightened to talk about it, maybe I can't, or maybe I can't be a good parent. And it was really enlightening, actually, when I posted it on my Instagram, the amount of people that commented on it, like, with DID themselves, either saying, you know, they weren't sure if they could have kids, but even just me doing that has given them hope that they could. And then people who have had kids with DID saying, you know, I'm so glad that it's being talked about, and don't worry about the stigma, you'll get there, kind of thing. And that's been really enlightening and really touching. And even children raised by parents of DID also commenting on my picture. Actually, I tell you what, if you guys haven't seen it, you definitely should. It's Evie in a lovely little outfit. I'll see if I can get it for you. Sorry, I'm just looking on my phone. And I'll show you the picture I'm talking about, so you can see all these amazing comments from people. It's loading. There we are. So little pictures of Evie here. And yeah, it's just those comments on that picture are really, really enlightening. So, and it kind of pushed me more to do this live stream then. I thought, you know what, I'm going to sort of tackle all these questions head on, because even having my own condition, I didn't know how other people with DID parented. I had no idea. So it was a completely unknown area for me as well. So I thought, even though she's only 10 weeks old, I thought that I could try and give as much of an answer as I can to any questions. You know, there's still a lot that I'm learning, and there's still a lot that I guess hasn't happened yet. Like, certain alters haven't been out at the same time as the baby has been around, so there's no, you know, there's no questions about how does so-and-so get on with a baby, like, I don't know yet. So, but I will try and be as honest as possible. And I can see questions or comments already saying she looks so much like Gaz. Everyone said she looks like Gaz. She's the spit of Gaz, bless her. But yeah, so that's my background. I'm sorry I waffled for a little while. And a fun fact for you, that documentary that was posted recently, the one by the BBC, I was actually 7 months pregnant. And I was kind of sat in my seat like this when you got that wide shot, because I was so frightened of my belly being on show. But I carried quite small right the way through my pregnancy, so I was quite lucky. But I figured that no one would guess. I was, again, filming the documentary, I was like completely terrified that people would find out and it would get out. And even the guys in the media that I was working with at the time, I was like, please, you know, I'm signing nothing that says I'm talking about my pregnancy, kind of thing. You know, I definitely am not. I want to keep away from that. If I work with you on this project, you have to promise me that you're not going to see any baby bump in the shots, you know. So yeah, it was all covered. But yeah, sorry, I will breathe now. Thank you everyone for being so patient. Like I said, I'm a little bit nervous. It is a bit of a scary topic, I guess, ish, in a way, like for me, like a scary thing to sort of talk about and come out about, but I feel it is really important, again, to try and end that stigma on DID and whether or not you can parent or live a normal life, essentially. So I've got to do it, because otherwise it would just go against everything I'm trying to stand up for. Hope you guys understand. Okay, Lolcakes TV, how did the system handle the pregnancy? How did the boys handle that? I know all of you will make great parents and caretakers. Thank you. So the pregnancy was a strange one in the way that I don't think any of us felt particularly pregnant. And that's probably a strange thing to say. It wasn't until really we started showing around about 6 months actually. It was around about 6.5 months that the bump started. So we carried, like I said, we carried quite small right the way through. And it was then in particular that I know Jake got really dysphoric, because he is dysphoric in terms of his gender in his body. Or I guess, I don't know if the better word would be dysmorphic, I don't know. But so yeah, in this body he gets a lot of those feelings. So I basically haven't seen Jake since. I've seen him like tiny snippets for minutes, seconds at a time, but I haven't really seen him since. So he's the one that's definitely had the most impact from it. So because the bump, I guess in a way you have to be really sensitive to it. And it's kind of like something I always equate it to is when we broke our finger, we all saw the finger had broken. Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't matter which altar was out, they were all very aware we had a broken finger. So obviously you don't go knocking about and bashing about because it will hurt. And it was the same thing with a bump. So even if the boys kind of wanted to see past it, you can't. It's there, it needs to be protected, so it's on show. So no matter how much, even if Jake wanted to, so no matter how much he would try and see past it, there'd be no chance, because the bump is to be protected and to be aware of. So yeah, for him he was quite dysphoric about it. And the moment I think he couldn't fit into the clothes that he liked to wear, like around the stomach, that's when he was like, I can't take this anymore. So I know he suffered quite bad. I don't know if this is like too much, but yeah, he did have a cry. I remember when he was trying to put on one of his like red shirts and he couldn't actually do it around the stomach, and he's like, I can't take this. So he did suffer quite bad with that. But I think the rest of the guys were okay, really. I mean, I was really quite surprised about Ed, because he's always had a real thing about how the body looks and how the body kind of is. But for him, I think he was really happy about, just happy that we were carrying this little miracle. Like, it was really cool how his sort of parental instincts kicked in more. And he was just happy we were pregnant. He was just happy we were carrying a baby. And I know a lot of people have those questions about whether or not Ed like still drank wine or had lots of black coffee, and actually he went completely cold turkey. So he had no wine or black coffee for 9 months basically and beyond, because we're breastfeeding. So still nothing. Still trying to be good. But oh bless, I hear baby crying now. Sorry, 1 sec, just make sure Gaz knows where the milk is. Gaz, if you need milk, there's a spare one upstairs.
What?
If you need milk, there's a pump upstairs.
Yes.
One upstairs, Evelyn.
Okay. Can why? It's alright.
Oh dear.
It's alright.
There we are.
Thank you.
That should be fine.
Thank you.
Okay. Although she shouldn't be hungry yet, but just in case.
I think she's woken up in a grump.
She's woken up in a grump, that's okay. Okay. Sorry. As you guys can imagine, it's been hectic as well since we've had the baby. So I'm really sorry that we might have to interrupt the live stream every so often. But yes. I seem much more relaxed and solid than before from Say in Heaven. Oh, thank you. When did you find out I was having a girl? That was a 6-month scan as well. What about Ollie? He's a child but responsible. Yes. I mean, he's 16 this month, believe it or not. So at the end of the month, he'll be 16. But yeah, no, actually, he's been really great with her. I think he came out a couple of times first when she was sleeping. But yeah, no, he's like taking her out for walks with the dogs. Dogs? We have one dog. I don't know why I use plural. Walk with the dog, and he's like changed her and played with her. So I know, yeah, he's doing really well as well. Everything seems to be going hunky-dory, I guess. Did the Eevee nickname come from V for Vendetta? No, Eevee like the Pokemon Eevee, because Gaz is a nerd. So we've got obviously Evelyn to name, but we spell it double E-V, double E like the Pokemon, because we're a nerdy couple. Why not? Off topic, but your eyeliner is amazing from Musa. Thank you. No way, he's 16, he's grown up so fast. Hasn't he just, Bronwyn? I can't believe it. And it's strange, actually. Like, I've just turned 27. Jamie's just turned 20. I've got to be careful. 29, yes. Gaz will also be 29 this month. And then Ed will be 31 in November, although I'm sure you wouldn't want me to say that. You and Gaz seem like amazing parents. Thank you, the Raven system. It's ever so kind of you. Is there anyone else who comes out more or is more chatty? To be honest, I was around constantly for the first 6 weeks, like literally constantly the first 6 weeks of Evie's life. I just found that, I don't know whether it was like hormones or what, but I couldn't hear anyone, I couldn't feel anyone. I got like a tiny little bit from Jamie, I think, towards the end of that 6 weeks that was like, you know, you're doing a great job, there's no need for anyone else to step in. You need to build up your confidence with her so you don't feel like you have to rely on us to do the parenting for you, because you can do it, which I guess I got that, and that made sense. But I think up until before that kind of point anyway, I don't think any of my boys could have come out even if they wanted to. I think the instinct to be present and grounded was so strong, I couldn't dissociate. And that's something else that I found happening, is that my amnesic barriers for her were like 0. So I knew exactly what time she pooped, she woke up, she had a feed, I remembered everything, and my sole focus was on her. Like Gaz would go to work 9 to 5 and I wouldn't have had the TV on all day. I would literally have just been sat with her, doing whatever she needed me to do. So that's how like ingrained I was in her well-being. But the one thing I did find on the flip side was when we were doing anything else that wasn't Evie focused, I'd forget it instantly. So my amnesia had gone from sort of my daily general holes to anything but Evie. So it kind of shifted. So I've been so grounded watching her, and so grounded being focused on her, that anything else kind of didn't matter. And like she really kept me grounded for the whole 6 weeks, and she still does now. What was the most difficult for the alters to deal with? Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. I think sleep deprivation in general, but I think that's a general issue that any new parents would have. So that's been quite difficult, because she tends to wake up on average about every hour and a half for a feed. So yeah, like I can't remember the last time we had a block of sleep. So I think that also, can cause issues, can make you feel a bit moody, a bit ratty, like a bit tearful as well. But that's just normal, I think, normal hormones. You're a wonderful mum, Jess. Oh, thank you so much. Hey, doing a presentation on you in psychology from the Marvel Mystic. That's so cool. I hope it's a good one and not like, look at this crazy gal kind of thing. Do you and Gaz plan on explaining the alters to Evie as she grows up from Anna Holmes? Yes. I suppose it's more of a, hopefully there won't be an explanation needed. Gaz has sort of outright said to me, the boys won't be hiding when you're bringing Evie up. Which is, it's nice for him to say, but I still feel really, really guilty. And I know when Jamie first started, because he was the first one to come out after the 6 weeks, so when he started to come out again, I was like, no, but I need to be there for Evie, I need to do this, I need to do that. Please don't speak like yourself, because if you speak like yourself, I'm worried that'll confuse her, because she knows my voice from in the womb. But then again, Jamie reminded me, well, she knows his as well, of course, because the alters were all out during the time we were carrying her, so she does. So yeah, I've kind of forgotten where I was going with that question. There was a direction, but there we are. Oh yeah, but sorry, it was about making sure, it was about telling whether or not we were going to tell her. But yeah, hopefully there'll be no explanation needed. I'm hoping that she will just grow up with her family, with us, and just see it as a normal thing. And I think it would be more, when she goes to school, there might be more of an explanation around, you know, you'll find that most only have one mummy, one daddy, or two daddies and two mummies, but not necessarily a family like you do. So just be wary of that, basically, and it might work that way instead. I got to study for a test tomorrow, but I just want to say congratulations. Thank you, the little red-haired girl from across the street. That's a sweet name too. I hope Jake is okay from Stranger Pilot. I know as a trans man I relate to how he felt. Let him know he's not alone in those feelings. Thank you very much. I will pass that on as soon as I hear from him again. Okay. Do you think any of the boys will integrate? I don't know, from Love Me or Not. I'm not sure. I don't know. I know that Jake's been kind of feeling like he needs to, because he guess he's going through a bit of a low patch at the moment. But he's still around, he's still here, so it must mean he's still needed at the end of the day. So I mean, I hope not. I'm kind of happy with the guys that I have. I'm, you know, used to seeing them all and being a part of my life and Gaz's life. So I'd like them to continue to be a part of our lives for some years to come yet. Oh, sorry, can I make the volume louder? I hope that's loud enough. Really sorry. Gaz fiddled with the volume a little bit before he left. I hope that's better. If not, I can't do anything about it. I'm really sorry, guys. Okay. How did I tell Gaz? Oh my gosh. I can actually show you. That's a really good question. Let me just see. Oh gosh. Again, I haven't put this up on social media because, you know, I wouldn't. But I should be able to show you that now if I've still got it. Obviously, Gaz swears is his reaction, but I will show you. Hopefully you'll hear it. Hang on. If it'll load. Is it loading? Oh, well, it just turned itself off. Isn't that helpful? Okay. So, it's got a bit of glare.
Eyes definitely closed.
Yeah.
Flatter than that with your hands. Okay, don't do anything yet until I say so. Now look.
No. Fuck off. You are not serious.
I'm pregnant!
Oh, fuck. Oh my god.
So that was it. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I know there's a lot of like reflection on the screen, but I got the pregnancy pee stick and I wrote on the back when about she should be born, and I took it to Gaz, told him to hold his hands out, close his eyes, and I put the stick on and then told him to open them. So, and that's when he was like, no. But yeah, so that's how I told Gaz, and it was just after he got home from work. So oh, I'm glad you guys liked it. Do you know how many kids you want from Hannah Nicole? I would love like 3. I think 3 is a nice number. But you know, at least one of each would be nice as well. But again, I'm not fussy. But we definitely want another one. I think me and Gaz have already discussed having another baby because we've loved Evie so much, and we're looking forward to the next one already. But we're just taking our time and planning it because obviously, yeah, money, and we've got a 3-bed house now, but kind of we want a bigger room and stuff if we wanted more kids, so we've got to wait and plan it right. I'm almost a 5-year-old little boy and I've only now accepted if I probably have OSDD. Oh, Jasmine. Oh, I'm so glad I've been able to give you courage. That's so sweet. So sweet. And that's exactly why I did it as well tonight, because I thought, you know what, if people are going to flame anyone for having DID and being a parent, then let me be the first, because, you know, although there are many great people out there already, I'm sure she won't mind me saying, but there's a YouTuber called Devi3, and she has a little boy, and she's a DID YouTuber, and also Kim Noble, of course, the very famous Kim Noble. She has a teenage daughter who's just graduated from university, so all okay?
Just changed it.
Okay.
So I fed her and changed it. Just wanted to see how you're going.
All going well, thank
Good.
you.
Good.
You want to come and she wants to come and say hello, does she?
No, she's swimming in her legs.
Oh.
And she's just farted.
Oh, nice.
I really hope she doesn't.
Oh, Evie. Hello, sweetheart. Hello. Hello. This is Evie.
Oh, that smells.
Oh,
She just farted and it just stinks.
See all the lights? You see all the pretty lights? Bless it. So yeah, this is it, I guess.
Yeah,
What else
let's
to
just.
say? Is Ed started to get excited about Evie dressing Evie up from Lane Breaker LBH? Yes. He does pick some very nice outfits, but also I must say, Gaz picks some lovely outfits. Well done, Gaz.
I'm pretty good at it. I
He
think.
picks some wonderful outfits. Yeah. Oh gosh. Look at those beautiful comments, Evie. Aren't you lucky?
God, her eyes look so bright in that light. Jesus. My word.
Can you say hello?
Gaz's mini me.
It is Gaz's
Everyone
mini
keeps
me.
saying this.
She is Gaz's mini.
Let's get in here as well. Let's just like.
Hey, family portrait.
Yeah.
Where's the dummy? She's asking for a dummy, I think.
I know. I'm gonna take that down
Oh,
now before she goes.
Before she
mad.
goes wild.
Anyway, bye.
Oh, hi, Evie.
So she's entranced by it.
I know, she likes all the pretty lights.
Wow. Come on, these good
I think Gaz was very keen to show her off, bless him. Everyone says she's a spit of Gaz, I know. That was a comments explosion. Thank you everyone for the lovely, lovely comments. It's so sweet. And you know, anyone who with DID who's got kids or thinking about having kids, you know, I hope that'll be a really nice testament. So thank you all of you guys who said some lovely, lovely things. That's so, so kind of you. Glass Pears, did the boys know that you were pregnant at the same time as you, or did you have to tell them you were? Oh my gosh, that's such a good question. And would you believe, I can't remember. I guess typical, but I cannot remember how that happened. Something tells me that they learnt one by one, but it was quite quick. Like, so within a day or so, I think. But don't quote me. Don't quote me. I think Jamie was the first because I know he was around when I did the pregnancy test. I guess I also wanted to go into a little bit about the support that I've been having. I know it's not a question yet, but I'm just raising it in terms, in case anyone's curious. So I guess the kind of support that I have now originates back to when me and Gaz were trying for a baby. So we were actually trying for 2 years after we got, so as soon as we got married, we started to try for a baby. 2 years, nearly 2 years down the line, obviously nothing was happening and we were a bit concerned, but we got the okays from the doctors and we were both fine, and we were like, oh, okay, well, it must be me and my mental health, you know, kind of, because anxiety can be a huge thing that can stop all of that. So I was like, right, okay, I must have to go get trauma therapy. I've got to go down that road and get trauma therapy, get my head sorted, and then maybe, you know, when we're getting into the swing of it, I'll relax more and we can conceive. Hooray. So I went to a trauma therapist and told her, you know, exactly the same thing. And she said, yep, fine. Come back on your next appointment and we'll go through, because we had basically had to have like a 2-session long needs assessment because there was so much background to my case and what she was working with. So she said, okay, come back for part 2 and then we'll make a start. So I went to see the trauma therapist for a second time, and on my second time I said to her, I'm pregnant. So what she did then, she said, okay, there's no point in doing trauma therapy with you now because obviously that would be traumatic for me, and when I'm carrying a baby I don't want that. I want to, even though I guess it's not ideal to hold trauma as I do now, it was like, well, obviously I don't want to destabilize anything. So she said, I will refer you onto the perinatal team, which are kind of new in our area. So they're kind of like, it's like a group of psychologists and care workers and stuff like that that are dedicated to mums with mental health issues or who are at high risk from you know, postnatal depression and things like that. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll sign up to that. Sounds really interesting, you know. So yeah, so I have support from the perinatal team. You know, health visitor that everyone gets in the UK. Everyone gets a health visitor that sees a baby until they're 5 years old. And yeah, just ongoing support from them. And then when I'm done with the perinatal team, which will last up until Evie's 1 year old, I'll go straight back to the trauma team and work with them if I can want to continue to go down that road. So that's why, yeah, I just kind of wanted to tell you guys that, because I guess there is that curiosity of, well, are social services involved? Whoever, you know, those kinds of questions. So I was like, I mean, technically yes, but not social services directly, but they all kind of keep in a loop with the perinatal team. So if there are any red flags, if anything did come up, then of course it would go over to social. But it's not going to happen. You know, I'm very adamant about that. And Evie is surpassing all of her milestones. She's excelling at everything. She's a wonderful, active, social, happy, content baby. So there shouldn't be any issues going forward. So fingers crossed, obviously. But I would certainly, if I was struggling, I would be the first to get in contact with someone for support out there, regardless of who it was. But it's just to kind of let everyone know that we do have support, even though it's not like necessary, if that makes sense. Okay. Sorry, I waffled again. I'm terrible for waffling. I do apologise. Do you know, I was watching Jake's live stream the other day, to almost tips and pointers, and I was like, he can do this so much better than I can. He's just got a much better way with words. And then Jamie as well, who doesn't seem at all anxious, and then there's me that just doesn't stop speaking, so I am really sorry. Okay. The backdrop is pretty. Where are you? Oh, this is our games room. Hurrah! Well, Gaz's games room. And we've just done up the wallpaper. So, okay. How are the boys during pregnancy in terms of cravings and pain, etc.? Did anyone have anything different? I don't think so. Do you know, I think we all had the same. It was really like, yeah, I mean, strawberries, couldn't get enough of the strawberries for the last several months. So for the last couple of months, we would just eat like a punnet a day. We'd have to like stop because strawberries were just awful. And for the first trimester, it was all about peaches and peach flavoured things, which is why you'll often hear me or hear the boys call her Peaches or Evie Peaches, because we literally were hooked on peaches. So, and then we also did go through a strawberry trifle phase and a chocolate trifle phase. That's not a good phase to have. I'd much rather the strawberries, but just couldn't help it. Just had to eat anything that we wanted. Who's more excited about your pregnancy from Meg and Wallen? It was definitely Jamie and Ed, actually. Like, they were both really, really excited, and they hadn't told me, but they thought it was going to be a girl all along, but I was adamant it was going to be a boy. I was 100% adamant, like, it's definitely going to be a boy. You know, I've got all these guys in my head, and I kind of feel that my life revolves around guys, so it's going to be a boy, and it wasn't. Instead, it was this lovely little Evie, but that's fine. What's my YouTube schedule going to be like? Probably just as erratic as it is already. Let's be honest, I don't upload much. It is just getting the time. It was getting the time before, but it's getting the time even more now. Like, I'm like, oh my god, how is this going to happen? But at the moment, I'm taking a year off work to look after Evie and give her the best start in life I could possibly give her for her development needs. So I'm hoping when she becomes a little less dependent, like just a little bit less, I'll be able to schedule in some time when she's got like a pattern of sleep and eating and stuff, because at the moment she will only sleep on me in the day or Gaz in the day. She won't be put down. She'll sleep on her bed at night, but by that point I'm so exhausted I just want to sleep with her. So until she's able to go down in the day and sleep, I don't think we'll get much time to film much. Sorry about that. What names did you have picked out from Noodle Lover 1? Basically Evelyn was straight away what we wanted, me and Gaz. So it was going to be Evelyn if it was a boy, and it was going to be Dorian if it was Evelyn if it was a girl, and Dorian if it was a boy. So and it was just something a bit different, like unusual names, I guess. I mean, Evie's not, but we liked it too much. It's quite old-fashioned. Let Ed know that once babies are around 6 months old, 1 glass of wine or cup of coffee will not affect baby. Thank you very much. Who is there when you start labour? Just me. Just me. I love how all the boys just vanished. It was like, that was the point. They all just woof. So no, it was just me. And I had in my head that I was going to have this wonderful hydro birth. And it was going to be all lovely. I was going to have like some hypnotic music, do some deep breathing exercises. But no, when the contraction started, I was screaming for an epidural. I was like, give me an epidural! So they did. So, yeah. My pain threshold is not as high as I once thought. I hope Jake will show up anytime soon, from Michelle. He has been around because he's posted on Tumblr, and he also made a post on Facebook, but I don't know if he was actually out for those. But for whatever reason, my barriers with Jake seem quite, I don't know, severe, thick, I don't know what to call them, but they seem worse with Jake than they do with the rest of the guys, but so I'm not sure what that's about. It might just be because he has been away for so long. So like I said, he's been away really since around about 6 months of our pregnancy. He was, I know, actually say that when we were filming the documentary, I remember him talking then, and he was, because the actor playing Jake was really lovely, and he was asking me what Jake thought, so I kind of had to relay a few things over. So I think that was probably like the last time, but that was, I remember thinking that was quite hard. I couldn't really hear him very well, but yeah. Do the boys take care of Evie? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not as much as me in terms of their time out. I mean, when they're out, of course they do. Absolutely, 100% they take care of her. But I am literally out like 95% of the time. Like, probably more than that, to be honest, at the moment, because I am so Evie obsessed. I just can't, I can't think of anything else. How did Ollie feel about being in a body that was pregnant, seeing that he's a teenager? From Chicken 1009. He's quite detached from the body, so like Ed and Jamie are more detached from my body as well. He's the same, so he doesn't see his body being pregnant. He sees this is Jess's body and it's pregnant, so it didn't affect him at all. Like I said, the only person really it did affect was Jake. Sorry, again, I've got a cold. I'm not trying to be minging. So yeah. Was anyone upset over having a baby? Rainy Daisy, I guess again, in a way, Jake was upset. Not at us having a baby, it wasn't about that. He was really happy that we were having a baby, but I think the penny dropped to him more than ever that he doesn't have his life, and he won't have his life out here, essentially. Which was obviously quite sad for him, I guess. So he handled that quite well. I mean, he handled it well, but he really took it to heart. So he was quite sensitive about it, and I think that's what he's mainly been struggling about. So it's not only the dysphoria of it all, you know, I mean, our bodies change as well as a result of the pregnancy, as pregnancies do. So I think he's also found that a bit difficult. But I'm sure as soon as I've got the time to give up, as soon as Evie is a little bit more independent, I can hear her crying now. She's terrible without me around. Yeah, as soon as Evie's a little bit more independent, you know, can be with Gaz for a little bit longer and things like that, then we can go to the gym again, and I'm sure that'll make Jake feel better. We can go out for like jogs and things like that. We walk her every day with a baby in the papoose and the thing that Gaz was wearing in the little sling. But I know Jake really likes good, intense exercise, and that always gets his spirits up. So I'm hoping we'll get back into that again soon. You guys made me feel better about being in a system. Thank you. No problem. Has Evie reacted differently to the boys versus with you? That's interesting. I'm not sure. I mean, deep down I want to say yes, she loves me because I'm her mum, but they're all her mum in a way. I have to remember that. I'm not sure. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think she spent long enough with them because, again, quite honestly, I'm not allowing it. I probably should, but I panic so much, I'm not really giving much of an opportunity. But then again, it still is early days. If you think about the fact, like I said, that the boys didn't really start showing up again until she was 6 weeks old, and it's now about 4 weeks later. Not that much time really to get things started up, especially when I'm out basically like 95% of the time. But as the days are going on, the boys are getting more and more like co-conscious and more around and things like that. So I'll probably be able to update you guys a little bit more on that. Maybe when Evie's a little bit older, I can check back in. Oh, Entropy, you've dedicated so much of your life to advocacy. What do you think your future in that field looks like now? I don't know. I mean, what I'm loving at the moment, and I'm sure you guys know this already, Entropy, but I'll say to everyone, is that we're really happy that the DID community on YouTube is kicking up. It's meeting us at our point. Like, we're no longer like the DID system on YouTube anymore, which is brilliant. We never ever wanted that. I never ever wanted to be in the spotlight. I wanted to help start this movement and help people talk about the stigma and share their stories, because you know, I never ever wanted this full attention just for me. I wanted it for this condition, for this community, you know. So it's lovely now that I kind of feel that the torch has been passed on and shared around, and we're all standing holding torches now for the same purpose. So in terms of the future, I guess it's kind of like, if we make a video, great, but then if we don't, then that's the way it's going to be, you know. But I mean, we do want to. It's something that's fun. It's something that we find interesting and entertaining. But at the same time, again, Jake makes all the videos, or he does majority of the work for them. So if he's not around, it's very difficult to kick anyone up the butt to get on with it and film it. So I don't really know is my honest answer. I do know that I don't really want, I mean, at least for the foreseeable future, I don't really want Evie being brought up or mentioned, or, you know, one of my biggest fears is that she'll be you know, sort of target for trolling, really, and I do worry about that. But like I said, I thought that doing this was more important to make that impact and make that statement and make that movement that people with DID can be parents too, and they can be great parents. So do the boys consider their daughter they consider Evie their daughter as well, or are they like her uncles from Keith? Yeah, no, they can. I think this question was answered on their Tumblr page, because I remember Jamie describing it to me, and he says it's like, to him, it feels like he is her parent, but not her direct parent. That's kind of the way he phrased it. But Ollie used a much nicer, I think, way of describing it. Ollie said something like, I don't know how she feels to me. I don't know what her relation is to me, but all I know is that she's definitely family, which is lovely. So I'm just gonna use that. So the boys feel like she is family. She is part of us, very, very, very strongly so as well. But maybe there's not a correct relative term to describe them as, if that makes sense. And I did read a question about am I on maternity leave or did I quit my job? No, I'm on maternity leave at the moment. I'm on maternity leave till July, so it's a long time. Like I said, I wanted to take the most time out I possibly could to focus on Evie and her development, making sure that she is still smashing those milestones for as long as possible and give her the best start to life. If I can stay off work longer, I would love to, just because, again, I can give all my time and attention to Evie. I don't know how doable that's going to be, though, because money. But, you know, you never know. Never know. I could win the lottery tomorrow. Not that I play the lottery, but you never know. When's Ollie's birthday? It's the 30th of this month. So glad to see you back on YouTube. I'm a mother myself. It makes me so happy to see you and Gaz. Oh, thank you so much. Sorry. Try not to spread my germs all over YouTube as well. How are your pets doing with a new member of the family from Long Soul System? Oh my gosh, Fable loves her. Absolutely loves her. and it's just a real chore to not get him to lick her, and I'm like, don't stop licking her. So yeah, he absolutely loves her to pieces, and he walks so well, like side by side if we're out in the pram or if we're walking her in the sling. He's just side by side. He doesn't leave her. He loves her so much. Iris the cat, on the other hand, ignored her for the first several weeks, and she's only now doing the thing where she like sniffs and then nuzzles her. So she's getting used to her now. I think it took her a while. When is Evie born? She was born on the 3rd of August, so she's 10.5 weeks old now. Oh my goodness, it's amazing to take that long off and retain your job. Yeah, I was really, really lucky, Beth, and I'm sorry it's so rubbish in the US. I know there's still a lot of jobs here. I'm in a very, very lucky job where they do take they can give you a long maternity leave, and you don't get paid you get paid like half after so long, and then you get paid nothing, but you still get to keep your job, kind of thing. So I'm just grateful for that. Oh gosh, I feel like I'm wondering now, like, should I be going off questions, or should I be trying? I should try and stick to pregnancy questions, although I'm like so tempted to answer the other ones. I noticed there's one about teaching Ollie to drive as well, from Chi. Chi Fashion. Hi Chi. Yeah, I think we will be teaching Ollie to drive, although something tells me he already might know how to drive. I think he's been having a go co-consciously, maybe. But no, we've already discussed it. Gaz is going to take him out when he turns 17 and make sure that he can, safely drive. So, yeah, so obviously we're all safe when we drive then, which will be great. Demi, feel free to pass, but how did everyone deal with the labour? Like I said, it was just me around. The boys chickened out and left me to it. So yeah, it was horrendous, but it was a long labour. I think it was 15 hours. It was a long time, but I'm just grateful that she's here. And she was 10 days overdue as well, so, and she was born 8 pounds, I forgot to say, so she was a nice chunky baby. I have a friend who's DID. She has an alter who's a persecutor, gatekeeper, and little all in one. Any advice to help? I'm not sure. That's a difficult question. It depends kind of what the scenarios were. I guess, yeah, it's that would be a difficult one. Like, I don't know what kind of advice you'd be looking for. Like, is this alter causing trouble, or because I often find, I'm sorry, I know this is off the pregnancy one for a while, but I often find that if an alter is being difficult, a big part of that is talking to them and finding new outlets, new distractions. So like Ed was an extremely angry teenager and would take it out on me, and instead we channeled that anger and turned it into something else. So whether it was his art or it was his cooking, or it's made him now the alter that he is today. So there's kind of a lot of very subtle moulding, I don't want to call it moulding, but kind of like self-help really, that you can do as a group to help your alters out and redirect their energies, kind of thing. I hope that makes sense. Is there any concern with Evie's age in the system, coping tools, ? I don't think so. I was really concerned initially. I was like, I've got to be honest, I was like, how will we handle this? What will my brain do? And because it'll be so stressful having a baby, will I lose more time? But no, like I said earlier in the video, my whole time and attention was completely focused on Evie all the time. So I had no amnesia whatsoever with her. I just kind of find the things going on around me, like I wouldn't remember if I'd eaten or not, and I wouldn't remember the last time I went to the bathroom, kind of. So it was like stuff revolving around me, but in terms of her, like I knew exactly when she pooped, when she fed, when she like to the minute. So I remembered all of that, but it was kind of like other stuff that my memory would start to play up. So it kind of weighed itself elsewhere, if that makes sense. how old is Evie? She's 10 weeks now. And thank you, Bethan. Thank you very much. How was the pregnancy overall from Becky? Yeah, I actually had it was a really good pregnancy, to be fair. I had 3 bouts of morning sickness, and that was it. So I was really tired in my first trimester. I was like really, really dog tired. But other than that, everything was really good. Afton, how is the post-birth recovery going? Are you able to get some self-care in? Do you know, that's actually been the hardest part. So in terms of triggering stuff, I actually found the recovery more difficult than the labour. I think they're so right, because all the nurses will tell you, and I remember the psychologist and the perinatal team told you you're so high on hormones, you kind of don't have, you dissociate more, because why on earth would mums go on to have babies again after they've been through that horrendous pain? And I don't it's strange, like I totally get it, like I don't remember the pain, but I remember describing it like there was a truck running over and crushing my hips several times, like every time a contraction would come. That's how it felt, but I don't remember how it felt. So I remember describing it, but I don't remember the pain. So yeah, I think it correlated, and I've forgotten the question. Oh, I'm terrible. It's because Evie was crying, I think, and I got completely zoned. But yeah, so post-labour, that's what I was talking about, being the most triggering. So yeah, the labour itself, like I said, it kind of was no big deal in a way. Like, yeah, it was horrendous, I remember that, but I don't remember that. But then I kind of had, and this is pregnancy, so it might be a bit TMI for you guys, I'll try and not be too detailed, but had ongoing issues then down below, and they are still healing really after this long. So and it's that pain, I think, that's brought back a lot of the sort of body memories, I guess, of any history and trauma and things like that. So that's been the difficult thing. So again, I guess for parents with DID or future parents with DID, that might be something you want to take into account for some self-care, just to make sure that you've got that thoroughly planned out on how you're going to handle it and manage that, because it's something I completely underestimated. Because again, with my perinatal team, we did my whole birth plan, like how I wanted to give birth, you know, like I said, I wanted this lovely hydro birth with this lovely music, and I was going to have like lavender oil to sniff in my bag in case I needed to relax more. Do you know what I mean? It was rubbish. It just went straight out the window. It meant nothing. It meant absolutely nothing. But what really I should have needed was a post-birth plan, I think, to help. Knowing what I know now, I'll definitely do that for my second baby, definitely. When I have one. I'm not pregnant yet, I promise. Too soon. Oh, no worries at all for mentioning that, thank you. Oh gosh, I'm not even sure which comments to read. I'm reading them and I'm like, I don't know which one I can best answer. Does Jake ever go to therapy for his body dysphoria? No, he doesn't. But thank you very much, Lolcakes. I think out of everyone, Jake could do with some private therapy of his own. Like, again, this is off pregnancy topic. Years ago, he tried in a way, and then he was kind of laughed off to not have his own therapy. It would have to be through me, and yeah, didn't work. But one day, I'm hoping. So you've only got a few minutes left. Usually we'd be happy to extend it, but I can hear Gaz is struggling with Evie having a cry, so she might want me soon, so I best pop off. But yeah, I think who was around the most of the pregnancy, do you know, like I said, kind of, and that's from Katrina Dawn, like it was kind of a mixed bag. Like, our pregnancy was so easy, like I said, we didn't know and really start to see it until it was like 6.5 months, so it was kind of all of us around normally, didn't change a thing. And then it was only towards the end, like past sort of 6.5, 7 months, that Jake was just gone. So there was no Jake, but we still were all out. And I mean, I think the day before I went into hospital, Ollie was playing on Crash Bandicoot. So, you know, he was quite he didn't care. He was just sat with this giant bump, like using it as a rest for the PlayStation controller. So, yes. Okay, I think we're coming to the end of time. Oh, look at that, such a sweet comment though. Does Jake understand that we love him? Oh, so sweet. Thank you, please. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Obviously I just wanted to say a big thank you for being so understanding. I hope I managed to answer some questions. I kind of wanted to talk about my pregnancy journey as well. I probably should talk more about that, but I didn't really know where to start. Thank you for probing me to answer those questions. Yeah, I just thank you again for being also nice. You know, like I said, I have noticed such a big change in the community and of just the general public about people with DID, and I'm hoping that it'll continue for the better, and then people won't start to fear having a mental health issue, even as one as stigmatized as ours, and having a child, because it's not all about that. You know, you can have good or bad mental health regardless of your diagnosis, or even if you have one. So yeah, just to say that really. Oh, and I love you guys too. Thank you ever so much. And yeah, I don't know what else to say at this point, but if I can do anything more in any way to help you guys or answer any more questions, just leave comments down below. I will take them all into consideration. I do read every single comment that comes through. We all do. So yeah, just a big thank you again, and I can't wait to do whatever video might crop up next. Yeah, and I think that's it. But yeah, thank you everyone ever so much. You're my inspirations too. You really are, and if it wasn't for you, I certainly wouldn't have kept this channel going for so long. If you haven't already paid attention, please look into the Multiplicity and Us playlist on my channel. It really needs updating. I haven't looked at YouTube in so long, I'm so sorry. But you will see some fantastic other systems that are spreading the word out there about DID and DID awareness, and they will tell their stories and their journeys probably more eloquently than I can. So yes, go follow, pay them attention too. And yeah, just saying goodbye to everyone here. Thank you ever so much for being so supportive. Sending all of our love. Thanks guys, take care, bye.